Let me get myself together.
It'd be funny to be. It's a shame. I'm gonna figure this stuff out one day.
Right. I don't get it. See, there we go. Wow. Had to run it back. Hey.
Okay, so I need to. Okay, so now I'm gonna tag you so that you can join on in. Okay, so y'all, we try to figure it out. We always try to figure something out. Okay. So,
laugh through the confusion, I tell you.
Right, that's all. Okay. I just want to tag you, girl.
I see, but I don't see me tagged.
Girl, you girl.
I do see it too.
All right, girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, beauty. Hey.
How are you? How are you? How are you?
We are here. We are here.
We here again, girl. We is here again.
Mm-hmm. Yet again.
Yet again. Now, this is my question. How many have we done?
Oh my gosh. Is it 7?
Is it? That is like the quickest ever, right?
I think it's like the 7th. I want to say.
Wow.
Yes, I want to say.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Girl, nope. We is
so
at girl, we is at like 8 or something like that.
Ooh, get excited.
Oh, I'm excited. That listen. I'm always great with consistency. Right? Like, even in the times when, we don't want to, we don't feel like it.
Still get that strength.
Right. We're not mentally there, but we still do it. We still show up. We still show up. I'm excited. So how was your week? How was your weekend? How was your holiday? I hope y'all had a great holiday. All that good stuff. You got to the water.
Yes, you know how we are with water, sis. We got to get that water in.
I know, right? We went to the mountain, saw some water a little bit. So I'm super excited about that because we need that peace. Yes. We need that time to breathe. Yes. We need, that getaway.
Yes.
Because the hustle and bustle is real.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
when you
really
take
real.
care of that mental health.
Yes, you got to. We have got to take care of the mental health. We
Yes.
do have a guest, guys. He is making his way through. He just texted me and said that he's coming on. So I'm looking forward to it. But um, this week, remember, I called, what was that, yesterday? That I told you that?
Yes.
So, right. So what did that, let's bring the audience in on, you know, our stuff, girl. Our shirts. Thanks to Nick
Yes.
Sims for doing our shirts. I love it. Yay, I love it. Hey, let's
I
let's
still.
go back and all that. But we
Oh,
got
wait a
our,
minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
yeah,
minute.
go ahead, Key. You turn around. I can't see it. Yes, yes, I love it. we are whole foods for real.
Oh God.
But I love
Um,
it. Yes. So not last night, night before last. Okay, so let's do a little backstory first, guys. Um, me and Key went to school together back in who knows how long.
a
Uh,
long, long
from Baltimore. She lives in Baltimore. I don't. Our sons, were murdered at the same time, the same day, same night, 700 miles away. But mind you, we had never met each other's children until now, right? So I never physically met Dante. Great, our guest has popped in, but we're going to do this little story real fast. So I physically never saw Dante or met Dante, right?
Mhm.
Well, night before last, literally, y'all, I'm asleep and he comes to me in my dream and I'm saying his name. I can it was so vivid. I can remember me saying, "No, Dante, this," and then in the dream, I'm trying to correct myself to say, "No, I mean Dylan." And literally, he was like, "No, Dante." And I was like, "Okay, wait. How are you?" I woke up out of my sleep, went back to sleep, and he was back. So, but I didn't wake up sad. I didn't wake up heavy. I did. It was literally like he was just like, "Hey, Auntie, I'm here. Me and Dylan, we chilling." That's how I felt. Like I actually felt good about it to be able to call you. But in my mind, I was like, okay, let me check on my sister, make sure she good. For Dante to come to me like that, let me make sure she mentally good, where we at, all that good stuff, right? So
Mhm.
when I called you, you was good, everything was clear. And but how did you feel about that?
It was scary at first because then it's like, okay, what does this mean?
Right.
But then I instantly got a calm came over me, like, no, he just was introducing himself, like, hey, I'm here, me and Dylan together, finally, that's
Like,
what I got because it's
yeah,
like, okay, it's not, I don't understand it. I don't think I've ever heard anything like this before. And we don't know about that part,
nope.
I don't know
And
nothing
I ain't
about
get ready
all
to try
that.
to, right. And I
Right.
ain't get ready to try to figure it out.
And
But
I wasn't
that's
trying
just,
to.
yeah, that's just a little story, that happens with us. So I wanted to share that with y'all. But our guest is on, so I'm super
Yes.
excited. Bishop William Tony is in the house. I am going to actually let him introduce himself because he has all these accolades that I can't expound on. So, good evening, Bishop. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, Bishop Tony, this is my sis, my girl, my homie Kiki.
Hey, Kiki, how are you?
I'm finding you.
I'm
Nice
good.
meeting you.
Pleasure's mine. Pleasure's mine. Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate you. So introduce yourself, and then I'm going to tell the folk, why I got you on.
I'm William Tony. I am a native of Atlanta, Douglas High School graduate, Morris Brown attendant. Been, I'm from Atlanta. I'm not from ATL. Um, I have been preaching uh, for over 35 years. I started when I was at Morris Brown, my sophomore year. I am currently pastor of the Mount Venus Baptist Church, and I also am the head jail chaplain at Fulton County over at Rice Street. Um, but with what we're talking about, I'll say this: I have been an orphan since 2007. I lost my parents within a 12-month span. I lost my mother, father, both of my grandmothers in a 12-month span. So to talk about grief, I'm here. I could talk about it.
Well, I so appreciate you, y'all. Bishop Tony is a friend, is a client of mine,
About that
and it is. It's about his boosted time. But I met him through another bishop friend of mine, and
shout,
we
shout out to Bishop Johnson, Dexter Johnson.
yes, Bishop Johnson introduced us, and we've been kicking it ever since. I thought about you in the instance because we're not just talking about grief of children, because you have not, thank God, have not lost a child, but we're talking about grief itself and finding purpose in the pain. And I know that since I've known you, you've lost other people
Yes.
even after your
Yes.
parents and your grandparents. So I said, okay, I think this would be really great to be able to talk to the audience and people listening about grief in a whole, and being a pastor and being a chaplain, and you have a barbecue business, and like there are so many things that you do, and we gotta still maintain grief.
So in 2021, you're right. I lost my uncle, who was like a father to me, my brother, my sister, and my musician partner. He produced my album with me. Um, he passed Easter 21. So yes, I have done my share of eulogies for family members, um, and it takes a toll on you. I begged and pleaded with God and asked him, would he please slow down? I'm running out of family members. Um, and it is a huge challenge. My mom's death hit so hard because she meant so much to me, to my church that I was pastoring at the time. But it is real, and I'm ready to have a real conversation, because I learned so much through those processes of things that I did wrong. A lot of times we think we should just stay busy, keep busy, keep busy. And when my mom passed, I did that. I stayed busy, stayed busy. And it was 2 years later that I realized that I lost my mom and I was a son, I was not a bishop. When she passed on a Tuesday, the week of her birthday. That Sunday morning was her birthday. Her funeral was the next day. So I went from planning a birthday party to planning a funeral. And she was my board member. She was the preacher in the church that I could leave when I was out of town and make sure everything was okay. She was the church's intercessor. She was the church's mother. She was the number one giver in the church. So every time I went back to that church to preach, I looked in a seat that she would never sit in again. Every time I had a board meeting, I looked at a seat that she would never sit in again. And the church, it was the first time someone of that magnitude had passed. So that Sunday morning, I can recall it vividly. I was sitting at home with my uncle, who passed in 21, and my oldest daughter, we were at the table playing punk. I was trying to teach her how to play tonk. And everybody kept calling me, asking me, "Are you coming to church? Are you coming to church? Are you coming to church?" I was like, "I don't know." But I got 9 or 10 preachers. I've trained all of you guys. I tell you all, stay prepared all the time. So if I don't show up, you guys, somebody should be able to handle it. They kept calling, kept calling. I got up, I went to the church. And when I walked in, I said, wow, they are hurting. They
Mm.
are broken. And
Mhm.
they need their pastor. So I took off my son hat and put on my pastor hat. And I preached them for a season through their hurt, through their pain. I preached them. And I can recall constantly saying, guys, just because I'm preaching as hard as I'm preaching, it doesn't mean I'm okay. I'm not okay. Nobody around me understood that. And I kept preaching and I kept preaching. The market crashed. I had some rental properties, got tied up with stuff. I mean, I had so much on me at that time. But they got what they needed. It was 2007. Again, it was 2009. Once everything slowed down, I ended up having to close the church. I ended up losing properties. I ended up losing my home. I ended up separating from my ex-wife, everything. And I was by myself. And I finally realized my mama is gone, because in situations in the past like that, going through a storm, she was always my anchor. She was my biggest fan, biggest supporter. And when I needed her, she wasn't there. And that was the first time I realized, wow, my mom taught me everything about life.
Mm.
She did not teach me how to live life without her.
Out her.
And I had to learn that. And I'm still learning that even to this day by heart, because it's just, I don't care how many books I read. I don't care how many prayers I pray, how much scripture I study, quote, believe, because, I was sharing with a friend of mine who mom had the same situation that my mom had, which was a tumor on the brain. That Sunday in church, she complained about a headache, and I laid hands on her, prayed for her. She died that Tuesday. His mom had the same situation. We were best friends. We grew up together. She had the same brain tumor. I prayed for her, laid hands. She lived for almost another 10 years. And I'm like, God, I don't get it. I'm preaching, I'm praying, I laid hands, I did all these things, and she still died. He said, yeah, but she still was healed.
Ooh.
And at that point, I knew I wasn't going to go too far with God with this conversation. So I have been trying to figure it out. Grief comes unannounced, it comes without invitation. It doesn't prepare you and tell you. You just driving down the street and you hear her favorite song on the radio and you got to pull over. So it was a very difficult thing trying to balance pastor son. It was hard. That was a hard thing. I just try to tell my brother, who's deceased now too, when he worked for Marta, I said, when you go back to work, you go back to some sense of normality. How you left that world when you went back to it without mom, it was still there. My world was church. And when I went back to church, it was not the same. So it was always in front of me, always. And I thought, just stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. Okay, you can stay busy. At some point, you're going to slow down. And when you slow down, here comes the weight. So,
Mm.
I call it hitting that brick wall.
yeah, yeah.
And when some people say that they busy, it scares me, and I brace myself when I hear it, because I oftentimes now don't want to give advice or try to, tell how I feel about that. But I always try to say it in a soft.
Kiki, what's wrong with your internet?
You know what?
Kiki froze.
She sure is froze. But then I can hear, yeah. Well, no, but it's okay Because we're going to keep it moving because she's going to come back.
One of the things, Stacy, that I think finally freed me. I remember I was in Albany, Georgia. It was a Mother's Day weekend, and one of my friends was trying to invite me to his home.
Mm-hmm.
And this had to be 7 years after my mom had passed.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, hey, man, I just don't feel like doing nothing. I'm good. I'm not going to come. And so he goes off. Man, you need to get over this, man. I mean, your mom been dead a long time. And, man, it's time for you to move on. I said, hey, Doc, explain something to you. You just had brunch with your mom. So you're not even in a position to tell me how I should feel when I should be over it, the whole 9 yards. Plus, because you are a pastor, everybody expects you to just be this super human person who still doesn't bleed. I don't care how strong a person is. When you cut them, they still gonna bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that moment that I came to grips with this saying that I always say. What freed me was when I got to the place of saying, it is okay to not be okay.
Yes, that's our favorite saying.
So many people think you're supposed to be okay when they say you should be okay.
Right.
You
Yep.
can't tell me when to be okay.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I'm not okay, and it's okay. And that helps me. And I tell people all the time, I have a hole in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I've just learned how to pick up the pieces and move around with that hole in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I'm never going to act like it's not there, because it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing is going to replace it. Oh, I
Right.
got you. I'll be your spiritual mom. I don't need a spiritual mom. I'll be your mother. You can't be my mother. You didn't
Right.
birth me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The reality is, when both of my parents passed, without them doing it intentionally, I became an orphan. I don't have parents anymore that are still walking around this earth. So it was an eye opener for me. It was something that really altered my life, and it was a season, a Job-like season, where after one piece of bad news, here comes another, here comes another, here comes another. And even with chapter 42 of Job, where you get the double, at the end of the day, for me, you just have double with the Holy Yard.
Mm. Right. Yeah, because that don't go away.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah, that
Nothing.
don't go.
I don't care how many vacations you take. I don't care how much money you make. It's there.
Yes, that is the truth. And one of you just said it, one of our famous sayings is we tell people it's okay not to be okay. Yeah, you don't stop thinking that you have to be okay because this ain't okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it just every person that comes on, every time we talk, people that deal with grief on this type of level always say the same thing, that people want you to be okay when they want you to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to go back to the old Tony that they knew before your mother passed. They want you to still do those same things, act the same way, talk the same way, do the same things. And that's
At,
not possible.
at the same level that you did it.
Yes, at the same level.
Because as a pastor, the bottom line is people need you for something. Children need you to be dad. Your employees need you to be who you are at work. Your church members need you to be pastor. Your employees need you to be boss. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a need, and they are feeding and living their lives off of you, who you are, the creative being that you are. And when you're down, subconsciously, it affects them. So they're just trying to get you to be who they need you to be. But what they don't understand is, if I can't be me, I can't be anything.
Right.
You got to give me time to figure out who I am now, because who I was before she passed is not who I am now. You got to give me time and space to figure out this thing called life now. You got to give me time to figure out what are my goals now? What do I want to accomplish now? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I gotta have some me time. And sometimes when people pull on you, when you're used to living your life for everybody else, it's just easy to get in that rut. And God literally had to allow things around me to just go rock bottom so that I could take some time to realize, William Tony, you need some time. You need to go sit and talk with somebody. You need to go to a counselor. You need therapy. You got me, but you need to talk this through. You need some pointers here. I know you used to helping everybody. I know you've counseled everybody and their mama. You got all the answers, but guess what? Now you have some questions.
Mm.
And I had them. I had questions. I had questions. Some got answered, some didn't get answered, but at least I was able to ask them.
Mm. So in that, because you know what the people say, some people tell you don't question God because God don't make no mistakes. And you know, we hear that all the time. Like, no, you know, Dylan's in your children in a better place. That who told you that?
Right.
There is a difference in questioning God and questioning what God has done.
Mm.
I'm not questioning God's sovereignty. God, you can do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. But I still may want to know, why did you do it at this time?
Right. Okay.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
I know she. Well, no doubt we shouted, danced, had a holly good time because we know where she is. So I'm not questioning God from that standpoint. But God, where do I go from here? Why can't I ask God that question?
Right.
God, how do I move forward from here? God, if we can't question God, then how do we find out what our purpose is in God? Because to find out our purpose, we got to ask God, what is your purpose for me? You created me, and why? So we can't say you can't question God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We ask God questions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
God, why won't you let me cuss this person out? God, why won't you let me slap this person? You know what I'm saying? We question God all the time.
Why you want to
Why you just won't let me just slap them one time?
one good time?
But I never question God from the standpoint of, you know, I never questioned, was it her time? Was it not her time?
Mm.
I never asked those kind of questions. But my questions was, where do I go from here?
Right.
Yeah,
How am I supposed to function?
Question.
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah. That's
You better ask God questions.
Yeah, I do all the time.
His word says, prove me. In order to prove God, you got to ask questions.
You gotta ask a question. You gotta ask a question.
And if you don't ask questions, you sure got to give them friendly reminders. God, didn't you say in your word?
Right. That's right.
And that's still a question.
That's right.
Did you say in your word? That's still a question.
Yeah.
So, you know, sometimes our ancestors said things out of their understanding and what they were raised with. But we're in a technology now. How can I ask Siri a question and she gives me an answer? And I can't see Siri. I ain't never met Siri. I don't know what Siri looked like. I don't know if she got blonde hair, if she got an afro. I can question Siri all day long, but I can't ask God no questions.
That's good right there.
Yeah.
That's good right there.
As we used to say, this may be old now, but as we used to say, miss me with all that.
I know that's right. Miss me with all of that foolishness. So Key, you were talking. I don't know if you, but you know, you left us for a bit.
That's not just Miss Kiki anymore.
Yes.
She has a new name now.
What is it?
I'm gonna name you after that Disney classic, Frozen.
Right. I love it.
Because he always got choked. No.
I love it. And that is so true. Because it might get ready to do it again.
Come on.
Yeah.
Lord, let that internet thaw out.
Yeah. It was that wind blowing through.
I
You
No,
can't.
said
I was just saying how I try to say in such a soft way, without sounding too harsh or like I know everything, that, give yourself enough grace, give yourself that time. All that rushing and trying to stay busy, it's going to catch up. And when I experienced it, I had nobody to tell me slow down. Everybody was saying keep busy, keep busy. But when you're keeping busy and you hit that wall by yourself, and he sits you down by yourself, and once you're by yourself, you realize, I wish I would have got here earlier, because it might have, the blow might have been a little less harsh. Not what happened, but when you hit that wall, in reality of everything, because it's not only what you lost at that time, now it's the time that have passed with keep losing. So by the time them 2 years, you lost way more than your mom, your dad, like your family.
Right.
You are, so now you're mourning all of that. So I just like, if you take that time when it happens or around that time, I believe we can unpack a little better. I don't know, because I did what everybody else did. I was trying to figure it out too. But when I hit it.
One of the things you said that I really want to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is absolutely unfair for people who are grieving to have to walk around on eggshells.
Mm.
It irks my nerves to no end when people push you and you push back, and you shut conversations down abruptly, firmly. You say what you got to say, and you're done with it, and you move on. Oh, you so mean. Oh, you so distant. Hey. We give grace to everybody. We raise children that got bad attitudes, and we say things like, oh, you just know that's just how they are. You have loved ones and relatives, man, leave him alone. You know how he is. Leave him alone. So people can have grace for everybody, but because you saved and you love God, you're supposed to always speak like this. Well, great woman of God, thou knowest. No. When I leave me alone and stop pushing me and stop, you need to do. I'll never forget Thanksgiving. Just recently, in the last 2 years, became different for me. I'm a cook. My first time being in the kitchen with my mom and my grandmother, I was a teenager. My macaroni and cheese got me in the kitchen. My mother said to my grandmother, hey, Maria, let him do the macaroni. She said, no, macaroni and cheese too important. That boy ain't finna mess up my Thanksgiving. She said, no, he can do it. That was in high school. The year before they passed, I had about 75 people in my house. And when I tell you I cooked everything, I mean, everything except the desserts, because I don't bake. So every year for Thanksgiving, there was a routine of me and my grandmother and my mother cooking the Thanksgiving meal. So when they passed, the first Thanksgiving, my brother, my cousins, my uncle, they all wanted to go to my grandmother's house, cater some food, and have Thanksgiving. I checked into a hotel room by myself with some communion. And they could not understand. Yeah, what communion? I had communion. I was sad. I was going, and they told me, man, you ought to be sharing your. I say, first of all, such and such and such and such and so and so and so and so. Every Thanksgiving, y'all sat in the den looking at TV while I was in the kitchen with our grandmother and my mom. So how it's hitting me is totally different than how it's hitting you.
That's right.
You need to back up off me before you regret continuing to push the fact that you want me to come over there in that house, in that kitchen where I cooked all those things. I can't do it. I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you should. Oh man, come on. Hey, back up off me now. And it wasn't until 2 Thanksgivings ago, now that I'm catering, a lot of people will have me cater food for the Thanksgiving. And it was 2 years ago on Thanksgiving, I sat down on my couch and I said, thank you.
Mm.
Grandma, Mama, I thank you. I said, because you're long gone and you've created an avenue for me to make money because of how you taught me how to do Thanksgiving dinner. You're still blessed. I'm still blessed today from something you put in me years ago. But before that, I never did Thanksgiving. I just didn't like it. It wasn't the same, you know. But we need to leave people the room to go off, because people that's hurting, you're gonna go off, and that's okay.
Sure.
It has to be okay, because if it's not okay and not hold it in, then you get ulcers, you get cancer, you get all this other kind of stuff because you're holding it in. And if you can't handle it, that's fine. I don't have to be around you, but don't be around me and know this is a hard time for me and try to pull me out, and oh, come on, let's go do it. I don't know. I want to do what I want to do, which is nothing. And when I want to do something, I'll tell you. And if you don't stop, I'm getting ready to speak in other tongues. Stacey, what are you doing?
I love it. Me?
Yeah.
I'm about to go get my charger because my computer about to die. Talk about me if you want to, honey, because, this is just what happens. I've been working all day.
That is not what happens to the host. That's something that I should be doing as the
Well,
guest.
guess what? We have another host. Her name is Kiki, and she ain't going nowhere.
First of all, her name is Frozen.
I'm sorry. Her name is Frozen. I'm going to get my charger. I don't know why it's not right here. That's why I was looking like, where is my charger? But I was working in the dining room.
I could tell something was going on with you. I could tell.
Right. So I can't talk to you.
I even stopped. I'm sorry.
I can talk. Well, I go get my charger.
All I can say, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Please continue. Please continue.
You lost a child also?
Yes, my son Dante was 22. Actually, I didn't lose him. He was murdered on the same date as Dylan.
The same
time here in Baltimore County and Dylan in Atlanta. Yes. So me and Stacey share so much. But yep, same date, around the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. I will say this. I've been working as a chaplain for it was a year in March 1st, 2023.
Wow.
God is so amazing, because one of my jobs, one of my responsibilities is, if someone dies outside of the jail, a loved one, I have to tell the inmates. If an inmate dies inside the jail, I have to tell the family. Not knowing everything that I went through when I went through it, that it was preparing me for a job I was going to get in 2023. And I'm not perfect. I'm not numb. I still feel, but I'm able to maneuver better in those moments with families, with the inmates, with employees that lose loved ones. I'm able to handle not just, because here's the thing. I learned the key to being there for someone that's going through is just that: be there, be present. Don't over talk, over listen, don't over Jesus. Well, Jesus. No. Just be there, because the power of presence is a wonderful thing. Because a lot of times people would ask me, what you need? when you're going through something for the first time, you've never experienced, you don't even know what you need.
Mm.
There were times I did not know what I needed because I'm in a very foreign place. I've never been here before. I don't know what I can't tell. And they get frustrated. Hey, you got to be patient with it because I'm going through something that I've never been through before. But because of those seasons in my life, it definitely helps me do this job way more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the kind of ending of a story that I would like, but I can't sit back and say God didn't prepare me for it. And I'm better now at this because of what I went through. That whole adage of God takes you through to bring somebody else out, that's real. So many of my pastor friends, lost their mothers after I lost mine. And I was able to walk them through things. Hey, remember, you're a son. Don't just be no preacher. You're a son. Take the time to grieve up front. Hey, take the time to get counseling up front. I was able to walk them through because of the things that I did not do, and it helped. I have a group of people on Mother's Day that I always pick up the phone and I call them and check on them, and they always like, man, I just appreciate you calling, thinking about me. I said, hey, I know what it feels like. I don't like Mother's Day. It's not my favorite day out the year. It's not. So if I'm going through this, I gotta understand you are too, and I just want to know how you doing. It's your mental space. You need to talk. You want to go get some coffee. What's going on? How you feel? So it has turned into a ministry that I've been able to lean on that experience to be a better friend, brother now.
That's good. So how do you to help the listeners, because we always want to be able to give them something that I know, we went through. How are you navigating now? Because a lot of people always ask us, I wish I could be where you are. I want to, how did y'all get there? How you able to do what you do every day? How you able to still smile and do, so how are you navigating? Because, you know, we've lost children and other people too. You lost number of people. Um, so can you help them in how you navigating? Oh, and by the way, before you answer that, Kiki, don't let him slide past that cook. Ooh.
When he said barbecue, I got excited.
Listen, ain't just barbecue. I just say barbecue.
Tracy just greedy. That's all.
Well, that's what her sister right here is as well.
I ain't even get ready to tell you I ain't. Man, when you get here, Key, we got to make him
Yeah,
cook.
you don't have to make me. Just let me know when she coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, she begin R.
We'll make it happen.
That was just for me to get some food.
I know.
But it's sing.
He could burn now, and then don't let him slide by that he can sing too.
Oh, please just
We are
let's sound hearts with something before you.
We're talking about grief.
Oh, well, some
about
people need to hear a little music.
I'm saying we're not talking about groceries. And we're not talking about gospel music either. We're not talking about either one of those.
Listen,
if you could,
you asked a question.
Okay, answer the question.
I'm going to answer the question.
Okay, thank you.
How, and I had to think about it. There are a couple of things that I found that works for me. One is the revelation of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. that says one day at a time.
Mm.
It is an everyday approach to being okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
When you wake up in the morning, for me, all right, let's make this a good day. And I have to be cognizant and focused on just one day at a time.
Mhm.
It's not something that happens overnight. And, you know, if a person is shedding tears for 5 hours a day, today, Lord, I want to shed tears for 4 hours.
Mhm.
Tomorrow, I'm going to try to get it to 3.5.
Mhm.
You have to be cognizant that I am going to be better every day. Number one. Number two, I had to figure out what my triggers were.
Mm. Ooh, come on.
Um, my brother, cousin, uncle, they were the kind of people that went to the grave, to the cemetery every day. And they cried and they cried and they cried every day. I couldn't do it. I am not the person who can go to the gravesite and stand there and try to have a conversation. That's gonna set me back. And I had to figure that out. And so some people say, "Oh my God, you haven't as close as you and your mom were. You mean to tell me you don't go to her grave, but da 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 da. Da. You ain't been to her grave but 2 times all these years?" Yep, 2 times. And the second time I went, her flower turned, and that was my clue not to come back
Hmm.
Okay.
because I ain't gonna be up here scared and doing all that.
I did not want to laugh. I can't.
Oh,
Ooh,
woo!
I'm good. Stacey,
Mm.
every day I look in the mirror, I see my mom.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah,
Every day of my life in
yeah.
certain
You look just
situations,
like.
I hear her voice.
Ooh wee.
I don't need to
No
stand
reminder.
over a body that's not even her anymore.
Mm.
So I had to figure out what my triggers were and
Mhm.
try to avoid them as much as I can.
Mhm.
Again, I can't control the radio. My mom was a choir directress. I grew up in church singing in the choir as a musician and stuff. She was the choir directress. And every now and then, you know, I got my Sunday morning playlist, and there are a couple of songs she used to lead. One specifically was Walter Hawkins' Change.
Ooh.
And I can remember going to my home church for something, and they sung that song. I
Mm.
was done.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, done. And the other one was the Andre Crouch song. I've had many tears and sorrows, hope for tomorrow. Through it
Mm.
all, I've
Through it
learned.
all.
I just if I hear them, it's gonna set me back.
Oh yeah.
So
Mhm.
again, you know, sometimes you can't control it, but it's the old adage: control the things you can control. Those things you can't control, they're out of your control.
Mhm.
So for me, I am methodical about what I do, where I go. Um, I'm methodical about approaching it every day. Let's try to
Mhm.
make the day a good day.
Mhm.
But lastly, I learned how to, whenever it hits me, to fully embrace it.
Mm.
Mhm.
Hey, come. I'm not gonna try. Oh, it's gonna be. Don't do that. No. If it's here, let's just go on. If we finish not cry, let's just go on and not cry. Let's go on and get it out because for so long we're taught to mask things and all. No,
Mm.
no. Whenever that brick wall, as Kiki talked about, comes, okay, I just
Mhm.
hit it. Let's deal with exactly how I feel right now.
Mhm.
Get it out because
Yeah.
holding on to it, no, that doesn't work. So
Mhm.
those are the three things for me, one day at a time. Um, be careful with my triggers And whenever those moments do come, fully embrace them. Fully.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's going to mess my day up, I have left the job. Hey, I got to go. I'll be back tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm not getting ready to be any good here.
Yes.
Those
Yeah.
are the three things that work for me.
Yeah, that's
And we
good.
were just talking about that
Mhm.
because I felt like I had to show up all the time. I felt like I had to show up. I'm better. I'm this. And I just had to realize my mental health days are sometimes more than I think that they need to be. But I take them, I embrace it. Like, you know what? Let me just go ahead because I'm hurting me more by trying to show up for others when I'm not okay.
Yep.
And I've learned that. And in saying that, and I know that time is winding down, but I do want to ask you because I want you to share because I know it's going to be profound. What I know that you show up for so many people. And so, what boundaries do you set for yourself when you know I just can't?
I'm learning because it's still a process, and I have not mastered this yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I am learning that no is an answer, that is an option.
Mm.
Because for so long it was not an option. You got to be there for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And even now with my job, I'm on call. If something happens at the jail right now, I got to go back up there. So
Mm-hmm.
I still live that life of being there for everybody when they need it. But there are some times you just have to say, no, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's hard. That's hard. And I have not mastered that. I say yes way more times than I say no.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm mad at myself afterwards. I'm frustrated afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you got to deal with this. They going on. They got what they need from you, and what makes it really bad is when you need them and they're not there for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People never have a problem telling you no.
Mm-hmm.
They just get upset when you tell them no.
Mm-hmm.
So learning to say no is something that I am still currently working on to give that boundary.
Okay.
Um, you know, sometimes I'm learning also never be bent out of shape when people don't call you, when they don't ask you, when they have things going on and they don't invite you. Thank you. I didn't feel like coming over there being fake and phony anyway because I don't feel like it. The older I get, it is hilarious. It is hilarious. It is hilarious. When I tell you my decompressing quiet time is so valuable to me now. When I tell you I go to work, I come home, and I have a phrase, I ain't gonna bother nobody and I don't want nobody bothering me.
That sound good with your
That,
phrase.
that jail is loud, it's stuff going on all day. When I get home, I just want to be quiet. Listen, I love Stacy because this is part of my quiet time. And I chose to do this because of her.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people, Stacey, that would have gotten to know out of me. You know, I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Right.
But you know, covenant relationships, there are people that you are in covenant relationships, you know, understand what you're going through. If I need to talk, I know I can call Stacey. I know she understands. You know what I'm saying? Those type of relationships, you don't mind doing things. But that whole quiet time, being left alone, it's because there was a time I was always out there at everybody's church function, everybody's revival, everybody's musical, everybody's recording, running. Man, if it's not a real good friend of mine, I ain't going. And I've had real good friends of mine call, hey man, got some tickets for you. Oh, okay, all right.
Right.
Hey man, you didn't show up. Man, look, man, something came up. I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Because that once I learned me and once I learned to fall in love with me, once I learned how important I am to me, my me time is way more valuable now.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do
Yeah.
with y'all. I got to make sure
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yep. Yep. I tell the people I ain't able, I ain't stable. So uh lead I need me. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing you said that I just had to make sure that I did. I'm not sure if we talked about it, but the young lady that just lost her son at the church, the military guy
Yes,
that they
yeah.
shot in.
We'll talk about it.
So I was requested, like, please be there for her at the funeral. Another one of my bishop clients, and he was like, "Don't you go there." I'm really, I want to be there for her. I said, but
You're not ready.
yeah, I was like, my mental status can't. And they was like, then don't go. My husband was like, no, you're not going. He was like, I've been texting her, check on her. And everybody's like, oh, she really gonna need, no, she's not gonna need me because I'm not gonna be no good for nobody.
I can't help her.
So I wouldn't be able to help her. And then like you said, sometimes, it's hard to say that and not because you've always been there for everybody. So when somebody call, oh, Stacy gonna be there. Oh, come on, I got that shoulder. Whatever you need to, what you need to hear, what you want me to do, what can I help you with? But
And when Stacy needs those same people,
ain't that just that one over there, and my husband. But I don't. Ain't nobody calling me. And the thing about it is, what people don't understand is, even though time has gone by, it does not mean that I don't need a phone call or a text. Like you said, you on Mother's Day, you send out the text to the men, the pastors that lost month. That means a lot. So people think, oh, she good, she busy, she working, she got business, she doing this, she doing. I ain't good. I'm not good. I wake up every day and take the mask off the thing and I put
Which
it
one you
on.
gonna put on today?
Right. And I step out. She's like, hey y'all. And then I take it off and
and
I'm
see, I'm
back
gonna tell
where I
you something.
was.
I'm gonna tell you something. This generation of believers,
Mm.
we missing some stuff.
Mm.
Them old folks used to say stuff like this. I need you to come by the house. I need to put my eyes on you.
Mm.
I say that.
I ain't trusting you telling me you're
That
okay.
you okay.
I need to look at
Mm-hmm.
your eyes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, if they're gonna send you a text or slide in your DM, maybe.
Maybe.
They're not gonna call. You're not gonna hear a voice. And they
Mm-hmm.
so not gonna say, let's go do lunch. Let's sit down. Oh no, oh no. We're missing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
People, that stuff is not formal. It is very informal. It is not personable. It is
Yep.
very
Mm-hmm.
distant.
Mm-hmm.
You don't send me no hearts in no text message
Yep.
to tell me you love me. You pick up the phone
Yep.
and call me and say, hey, I just need you to know I love you. One of the things that when I say opened my eyes and broke my heart at the same time when I lost my mom was everybody around me that I knew, everybody I was there for, people that I had put food on their table, clothes on their children's back, bought cards for all the people that was there. Not one person, not one, ever came to me and said, you okay? I know you like to play golf. Here's a round of golf for me. Go have some fun. Not one person ever just was there. They were around, but they weren't there. And because they were still getting out of me what they needed, they didn't think they needed to be there. And to me, that's just sad. You can't lose a child. You can't lose a parent. You can't lose a spouse and just be okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have the presence of mind to be able to say, I know Stacy well enough to know that she likes, let's just say, to get her nails done. You don't have the presence of mind to say, hey girl, here, go get your nails done.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Because love is what love does.
Mm-hmm.
Not about the money. It's about I'm thinking of you enough
Mm-hmm.
to do something for you special to help you through this day only. And we'll deal with tomorrow. We'll deal with tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Just that baffles me.
Yeah.
People don't know how to be there anymore. And
Yeah.
I had a pastor tell me this, and he had lost his daughter. He had lost his daughter. And he said to me, everybody don't know how to be there for you.
Right. Yep. Now that's true. And we've said that. Yep.
They don't know how to
Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know what to say. People don't know what to do. People have
Mm-hmm.
they just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this earlier, you can't be upset with people and what their reaction is to you, because they don't sit in your shoes, so they don't know. And I say this probably every episode. I don't want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't want you to know this feeling.
Right.
I don't want you to walk this walk.
Right.
So I'm not upset with you because you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what to say. You don't know the right times to say it. But like you said, that I'm grieving.
Mm-hmm.
Send a text. Because like you said, believers now, they didn't lost it. They don't do and say the same things. I have a small amount of people, and I can say, of course, Kiki's in my shoot, so Kiki we gonna check on each other, and I have a handful of people. Nikki, she gonna check on me.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, my husband here, you all right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you think of the people that you, like you said, that you've done, ain't nobody calling.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody calling. Ain't nobody checking it, because they feel, first of all, the first thing is, well, everybody got a life. Everybody, well, so do I, but you still expect me to show up.
Mm-hmm. And be ready. Show up and be ready.
And be ready. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Show up, be ready to do whatever it is that I'm expecting you to do, or that I need you to do, or I want you to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I don't like this. I don't like this. Well, just if you need me, call me. If you need something, if you know I need something, then just offer it.
Just call.
Right.
Right. Just offer. And those are like things that I can literally say, that little handful. If I'm on the phone and I'm talking to you and I don't sound, first of all, are you okay?
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, because I'm a video call.
Right. What's wrong with you? The same thing that was wrong with me July 31st, 2016. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you it's going to be the same thing tomorrow. It's going to be the same thing tonight.
Just because you got over my trauma don't mean I'm over
it. Put that somewhere. Oh,
yeah. See,
pin that somewhere.
That part.
Everybody, hold on to that, please. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Just because
you are over my
trauma.
You
got over my trauma. We learned something. I tell you. Woo, I got chills. I knew something. All that preaching and all that good stuff you said today, it meant a lot. But let me tell you something. That one thing, that one phrase, I'm sorry, that wasn't a thing. That thing was powerful. That Yeah.
There it is right there. There it goes.
Mm.
Just because
Mm.
don't mean I'm over it.
Right.
You ain't have to say nothing else. I promise you, when they say that right there can preach, that right there can preach
Mhm.
right
Yep.
there. Bishop Tony,
Yes.
don't take that right there and preach that for yourself. Because when I tell you, that's a word all by itself. Ain't in all the people, and it's always something. Everybody always got something, but that right there, because y'all are over y'all.
Mm.
Okay, y'all can keep walking and talking and playing and moving on with life, and your children still there, your mama still there, your husband, wife, or whoever it might, they still there. So you over my trauma.
Gosh, I've never heard it. I've never seen it. This is so powerful. I just keep looking at this like, my God.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That's
So,
going on a t-shirt.
you know, I'm about to put that. Look, Nikki Sims, I know you see this. I'm gonna need you go on and make that for me. We're gonna make that.
For us?
Look, Bishop Tony need one. I need Kiki.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's
thank you.
Put a little, thank you.
And if you need it, come through. Hey, let's talk. And we got a shirt for you. Because guess what? Thank you, Pastor Tom. We got that.
Yeah,
that's the we gonna have to patent that.
Nobody said it like that.
Never. I had never heard
it. We just said all the way around it, but it ain't never been said like that. And that right there is the whole thing in a nutshell for the people that not understanding it.
Yep.
That feel like we supposed to be over it. That feels like we should be at a different place in our life. Yep. That feels like we should have arrived by now. That feels like I still supposed to show up for you. But this right here, just because you over my trauma don't mean I'm over it. Right. And I'm gonna say amen. I'm just going. Yeah, that was great. We appreciate you, sir.
I appreciate you.
You know I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Wonderful meeting you. I can't wait for you to get to town so I can cook for you.
What? Wait. I don't remember you saying to me, Stacy, you know, when I come over, when you get my next IV, I'm gonna have something to eat for you. What happened? No.
Stacy. One thing can be said.
Yes.
You and your husband
has had your cooking. Yes, we have.
And all the cooking and parties you be having, I ain't got an invite yet. So don't start.
Oh, you need this. You want to say that live on the floor?
I mean, you wanted to go there.
Oh,
you could have just
say good night.
You could have just let that statement I said to keep you be what it was going to be and left alone. No. I'd be having to hear from other people about what a wonderful cook and all this stuff. I'm like, Stacy.
First of all, Kiki.
Okay, now first of all,
don't let him do that, because most of the time he's somewhere cooking somewhere else and doing something else. He'll be
invite me and see if I say no. See if I show up. How about that?
All right,
sounds good. That's a plan.
Next one on me. Next one on me.
Can I ask this though? Instead of getting our outro, could you just say a little hook for us, please?
That wasn't me.
I asked. Could you just sing a little hook for us instead of doing that? You could do our outro, please, tonight. Please.
A little hook.
You know.
Y'all, instead of saying no, I love it. Instead of saying no, because he's still learning. He's still learning. He did admit that. So instead of saying no, that's what I got. And I appreciate that.
I swung a little hook.
You know.
Thank you. All right, bring on the duck, sis. Bring on the duck.
Don't let him do that. That's so terrible. You tickled your own self. Right.
Because I was quick with it. You was quick with it.
That's for sure. You was quick with it.
Because Kiki is my friend now, and I just couldn't tell her no.
I felt it and I received it and I'm okay. I promise you. Yeah. Yeah. See, she said
Little
she not.
hums.
And did you just get the hum?
All right, that's fine. We appreciate you.
Because he'll be back.
Yeah, we're gonna put you back on, and next time be ready.
Yeah. Come on, dance to my music. Come on, sis. Let them dance to my music.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna cut a rug.
Yes.
Don't do it. Terrible. We appreciate y'all.
Jesus. Huh? He's all right. No.
Yeah, he all right. We appreciate you.
They said, you got to admit, I did good tonight.
Yes, you did. You did really good. I'm so proud of you. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Yes.
I love
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you. Thank
Guys,
you. Thank you.
we thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yes.
Same time, same bat channel.
I'll even rock it the same way, like y'all in the choir.
Right.